Morning, everyone. Eric here from Nomadic Fanatic. Happy New Year to you all. 2026. Ready or not? Here we come. Today's video is a doozy. Recognize the scenery behind me? Aww. Taterland. Taterland's been painted over on Babe the Blue Box, but we're back. We're back to close the chapter on Taterland. Eric, why did you abandon such a perfect thing? Why did you just walk away, Eric? Why would you do something so stupid as to sell Taterland after all the amazing work that you put into Taterland? Why would you sell it if you love it, Eric? It makes no sense, Eric. You're not going to believe this story. There's a reason. There's a reason why I've just started over. I didn't want to leave this place, guys. Sit down, get your popcorn ready. We'll be uploading this video with some Connecten internet, so check out the video description below for unlimited high-speed internet on the road. And enjoyed so much here at Taterland. Taterland 1.0. Let me tell you what happened, guys. First of all, before I even begin this video, I want to be clear. The purpose here is not to shame anyone. It is not to kick somebody under the curb. I'm not trying to point and say, I'm not trying to put judgment upon anyone in this video. So I am going to keep it as clear, clean, and factual as possible. I kind of just need to clear my own name because I feel like just building my other Tater acres over there, you guys just don't understand where I'm coming from, what kind of state of mind I'm coming from, what I went through here, what actually happened here that was so bad that I had to walk away from it. Thinking full well, if you guys remember my last video from that series, Diana and I said, this is not it. This is not over with, guys. And one day, what did I say? One day, I will tell you the whole crazy story. Well, it hasn't even been a year, but I am going to wrap up things. Actually, things started getting bad a year ago. As you guys know, I put a lot of effort into this property. It's 1 acre, the solar system, which I want to repeat one day. So what happened is 1 year of being up here, it was getting really cold and I wanted to get away. I met a new friend for the first time at the Y bar down there. We hit it off pretty good because he was also on a Harley that same day riding down there. His name was Danny. I didn't know anything about Danny, didn't know his past, didn't know much about the guy, but we started riding. We rode down to the valley a couple times. We became friends over the course of a couple months, and then I said, hey Danny, since you're way out there past Stanford General Store and you work here at the Y bar, what do you think about moving your fifth wheel over to my property? It's a lot closer to the bar, and you can act as security. I'm not going to charge you anything. You can just park there, keep an eye on it while I'm gone down in Quartzsite, and I just have a couple rules. Nobody gets to come over ever. Nobody enters my property. It is just you. No drama. I don't want anyone to ever know this location here. Low key, no drama, no people. You want to go hang out with people, take them off my property. And he instantly said, yes, Eric, that is a blessing. You have changed my life. Awesome. He moves in. He parks down that way on the western side of the acre, where I have the eastern side of the acre here in the driveway. So it was a handshake deal, and at first it seemed like it was working out really well. I gave him keys to Babe the Blue Box, as well as the other shed for tools. He was going to be spreading rock and doing me some favors of the property. That never happened, but anyway. But there was a washer and dryer in here. I purchased the washer. He purchased the dryer, converted it to propane for me so he could wash his clothes and use this facility because I left him the key. And then also in case there was ever a problem with the internet or the security cameras or Simply Safe alarms or anything like that, he could go reset something and check on things for me. I will also say it's not like I just left some random stranger up here. My Simply Safe and my Night Owl camera systems both have apps that will give me push notifications every time you walk by the driveway here. Ba-ding, ba-ding. It's up to me how often I want to look at it, bring up the video, see who it is. Also, my Apple Watch will go ba-ding, the same thing, and vibrate on my wrist. So nothing really gets past me up here. But when we were down in Quartzsite last winter, you know, obviously when it gets windy too, that can set off alarms. You know, Danny's doing his chores and coming in and out and doing stuff. So getting those motion alarms from the cameras was nothing completely out of the ordinary for me. I just assumed that he was keeping an eye on things and everything's just going good until November of last year. November of last year, you remember, Diana and I took Frosty the pickup truck with the kitties and drove all the way from Quartzsite, Arizona to the center of Texas to see my mom for Thanksgiving week. But that almost did not happen. Because 1 week before Thanksgiving in November last year, my Simply Safe alarm gave me a strange error code, power lost. And sometimes that happens and power will get restored or something if the inverter resets or something happens like that. Without internet and power to Babe the Blue Box, that meant that I did not have live feed going to me in Quartzsite. I couldn't live check. Now, I still simply assumed that the cameras are still rolling and they're recording locally to the hard drive here. But, you know, I'm trying to get a hold of Danny. I texted him. I called him. It goes right to voicemail. I tried to even use a Facebook Messenger app to be able to reach him. I would reach his friends. I'm flying blind here. Danny, what's going on in the property up there? Nothing's working up here. And I told Diana, and I said, we may have a problem. I can't reach Danny, and I cannot log into anything up at Taterland. I don't know what's going on here in November, Diana. Told Mom the same thing. I said, I might not make it for Thanksgiving. Here's what's going on. We're going to find out everything. Well, wouldn't you know it, that same day, power was restored, camera system's back online, and I'm able to go back to Simply Safe to watch what had happened. Because again, it's stored locally there. And so I watched the first clip. Then I watched the second clip. And then I walked over to Diana's bus and I said, Diana, look what's going on or what just happened at Taterland. Apache County Sheriff's officers, one by one, count them, 11 ACSO vehicles. SWAT team comes into Taterland. They cut the bolt on the gate right there. They line up all around the driveway to the point where the vehicles that had gone around, they hit a roadblock because then they come this way and there's still more sheriffs coming in my loop driveway. These guys can't clear to let them in, so they start piling out this way. Taterland is a sea of Apache County Sheriff's Unit SWAT teams. And I'm watching this on delay, guys. There's nothing I can do, right? I'm watching it on a 5-hour delay as it's happening. After 20 minutes or so, Danny, handcuffed, walks by the front, gets loaded into a police officer. A female that I've never seen in my life before is handcuffed, brought into a police car, handcuffed. They maneuver their vehicles in a way, they drive over the septic system. A few of them leave, and then they break into Babe the Blue Box. They busted the handle and everything on Babe the Blue Box and broke into my other shed over here. Again, I'm watching this I'm watching police officers break into my land, take pictures, dig around, kick around, because I got a camera in there too, dig through all my stuff. They come out, they take pictures of Taterland, they take pictures of my logo and my YouTube logo. And I'm thinking, has anybody called me? Like, I'm the property owner. I'm the listed property owner. And nobody told me there's a search warrant. Nobody said that all of my structures are subject to be searched right now. I don't know what's going on. It's a painful gut feeling of security just lost, trust broken, just absolute what is going on. Now, I come to find out later, Diane and I realized that had we been here, had her bus been there and my RV had been in my spot, All vehicles and structures were included in this search warrant that Danny created here on my property. Talk about an invasion of privacy. Then I called Mom back and I said, Mom, I'm definitely not going to make it. I mean, there's no way. I need to go up there to secure my buildings. At least they have ransacked my whole property, and I have no idea who's going to come back onto the property now because Danny's not even there. Danny's in jail, some unknown females in jail, and I don't even know the status of my property. And Mom kind of was like, let's just play it by ear. If you're going to be late, that's fine, but don't do anything rash. Maybe it'll still be on. Maybe we'll still do this. Okay, well, it took all of the next day before I got a phone call from one of Danny's friends that I don't know, ironically. And she told me what was going on. She told me, here's the website you can look at, which I was new to this, but there's an Arizona court lookup thing, and you can find out who's been arrested, what they've been arrested for. Again, you're innocent until proven guilty, right? So give Danny the benefit of the doubt. But he was originally booked on 7 felonies and 4 misdemeanors. The first time, 7 felonies, 4 misdemeanors, ranging in weapons charges to having a stolen firearm, to intimidation, assault, theft, and drug. He had a drug possession misdemeanor, but then he also had a drug distribution felony on there. And I read this and I'm thinking, Danny does drugs? Oh my gosh. Do you really know anybody? But this friend of Danny says, hey, if you give me permission, I'll go up there, I'll fix your gate, I'll secure your gate, I will secure your other 2 buildings, and I will check on Danny's stuff. Because Danny's stuff's out. I mean, his motorcycle's out here, not even locked up or anything. And more on Danny's stuff later. Helpless, being 6.5 hours away, and I'm nice and warm in Quartzsite getting ready to go see Mom, and I don't want to come up here where it was pretty cold last November here. So I said, yeah, please, and keep me updated. So we exchanged phone numbers, and she kept me updated. She said it looked like someone had gone through some of Danny's stuff and ransacked a bunch of stuff. I come to find out, no, that's just the way Danny lives. But yeah, she was able to put a temporary lock on both of my buildings, actually fixed this one, put a temporary lock over here, and put a combination lock on the front gate. And then she would text me every time she was coming back to the land in the next couple of days, while Diana and I do go to Texas and try to clear our minds and have a nice family vacation. And I say, I'm going to deal with this when I get back. Well, as I'm in Texas, I get a phone call from Danny. Danny's out. Danny's been released on... Okay, I don't know how he was released on bail or anything of that nature. 7 felonies and 4 misdemeanors, serious crimes. I was very surprised that he was back out, but him and I had a conversation, and I will admit he apologized profusely. He said, I ruined it. I did everything you said I'm not supposed to do. I'm going to clear my stuff out, and I will have it out of here by the end of December. I said, yeah, Danny, because I can't even go back now. I've got to sell the property. You have tainted the property. It's a matter of days before the trolls get a hold of you and your arrest and your convictions. And it says right where the search warrant was issued at Eric Jacobs' property, parcel number, address, all my stuff's already public right now, Danny. And it was. Thanksgiving Day, I'm looking at his arrest record tied to my physical property. Thanks, Danny. I thought that was going to kind of resolve itself. You know, he's got a month to clear his stuff. Little did I know how much stuff he had moved in, and other people and vehicles and rigs and garbage and appliances. I don't find this out until the following month, January, when, as you can imagine, later on in December, I can't talk to Danny no more. The first thing I do is I go to the Arizona courts lockup page. There he is, rearrested, 3 new felonies. Breaking conditions of court, a weapon with filed off serial numbers, and 1 other felony. I can't remember. Anyway, that's all not even been resolved, so I probably shouldn't even bring up all the felonies because I don't think he's been convicted of anything, right? So he's back in jail, and again, the property is unsecure. Christmas, December last year. I come up in January by myself. Diana watches the kiddies in Quartzsite. I take the truck up to come look at my property, and I told Danny's friend that I was going to be up here. I would need the combination to the gate. I'm going to look around. And guys, I got here, and luckily, I will say, my buildings are secure. I didn't know at the time until I walked over here to where Danny's fifth wheel is visible from the road right there, and he has that whole back section back there. But guys, I walked back there and I cried. It had been a long time since I'd cried. Just walking around my property, tears flowing, coughing up phlegm. I could not believe how he destroyed my property. Garbage everywhere. There was at least 10 different appliances out in the snow and rain. There were 2 vehicles physically on the ground without wheels, just rotors on the ground. 2 busted up vehicles that had been shot out, broken windows, fuel leaking everywhere. There were 2 more RVs on my property, guys. As you'll see, we're going to go back here. This has all been cleaned up now, obviously, but this is where Danny's fifth wheel was at. And back here, where you can't see from any of my cameras, because I didn't butt into his personal space. I wasn't going to show a camera on him. But if we turn back around and look here, Babe the Boo Box is right behind there. So my cameras are there. I had no idea that he had instructed friends on a second road to come down. So this was an RV. This fence is new. The new owner here is putting in this fence. But this is the access road where all Danny's friends and drug dealers and the 2 other people living on my property would exit and get back out to the highway. And then come in here and sneak into this RV and the other RV that was right here. He had allegedly been doing drug deals right here on my property with people sneaking on from the other property. But walking around the property and seeing the trash. And then I'm standing right where Danny's RV was. This front yard is covered in, how do I put this nicely? Many of my belongings, okay? Many of my belongings were removed from both sheds, and Danny had acquired them here in the front yard. I peeked into the window here. Peeked into the window here of his fifth wheel. Several more of my personal belongings are in plain sight. My heater, oh, my big barbecue grill was out here. My leg lamp. Harley signs. I'm not going to say Danny stole them from me because I'm not pressing charges or anything. But there you go. Now you start to get to understand the real Danny. He literally, I gave him free access and he steals from me as well as trashing the property. January was painful when I came back. And when I came back to see Diana and tell her the whole story, we both said, Eric, you have got to get him off. If you have to evict him, Diana, how can I evict someone who's in jail? Just get rid of his stuff. Just give it all away. I have to clear vehicles and RVs. I have no idea who's still living in these other 2 RVs. Do they come back every night and then get back in the RV? Oh my gosh, guys, what a mess. What a mess. I ended up telling a few friends that I was going to be moving out of Taterland, and I can't tell YouTube why, because this is just way too much drama than I can handle right now, but that I would be selling Taterland and moving on and probably starting over somewhere else new, learning from a lot of the mistakes that I made. And in that course of just word of mouth, a few friends, you know, Frank and Tammy told a couple other close friends, and I got a buyer who's a mutual friend of all of ours who was interested in the property. However, I had to tell him the circumstances, the condition of the property, the police, the arrests of Danny, the stuff that's there that I can't really sell the property because all his junk's still there and I don't know when he's going to get out of jail. So I was very transparent with the new owner. By the way, I want to thank him again. I told him I was going to make this video and he said, why don't you just go to Taterland and film it there? Like, that's a great idea. So I let him know so he can watch on the camera me doing my little vlog here. He's made some other improvements here on the property. Maybe I'll show you some of that later here in a minute. But anyways, fast forward. Danny gets released again in February, I believe. February timeline. Yes, February. And he again apologizes profusely. I bring up everything that I saw with my own eyes. And he's like, Eric, I broke your trust. I took advantage of you. I'm a terrible friend and I'm sorry. Now look, I don't try to hold grudges, and I told you guys at the start, I'm not here to badmouth Danny. I'm just telling you exactly how it is. If Danny were standing here right next to me, him and I would be making this video. I wouldn't be, punching him in the cheek or anything, or, we wouldn't be beefing or anything. We would just be co-telling you exactly what happened, and he would admit that he messed up. He did not do what he said he was going to do. He brought a bunch of drama here, and he committed some crimes on my property and then brought stolen property to my property. But yeah, I'm not friends with Danny anymore. However, if I ran into him in town, things would be civil between us. It's just not worth holding the grudge. But in February, he said once again, Eric, this is the third time I'm going to say this, but I will have all of my personal property and garbage removed from your property by the end of March. That is a guarantee. Even if I get locked up again, I have friends. We already have a spot. Everything just needs to be moved now. All the vehicles, all the RVs, all the trash just needs to get moved to Stanford Road down there. I said, Danny, I'm going to sign some paperwork and I'm going to close on the property, but there's going to be a contingency. Everything of yours has to be off the property by the end of March, okay? And if you don't do this, then I'm going to have to take legal action upon you because you simply don't keep your word, Danny. He's like, no, don't do the legal thing, man. Let's just keep this a handshake deal. Because here in Arizona, once someone has been not convicted, once someone has been charged with a felony here in Arizona, you can go to St. John's and you can order an expedited eviction on that person. Instead of 30 days, they have 7 days to remove their property. I kind of think that's kind of crummy because if that person is actually in jail, how are they going to take care of things in 7 days? So obviously, from the start, I cared about Danny's property. I reached out to so many of his friends to come help him. Come secure his stuff, come take it. I don't want him to lose his mother's ashes that are inside his RV, and I put money on Danny's books. I did. I sent him a postage account and an email account there in Apache County Jail. They don't really do the snail mail and personal visits. They do emails. So I gave him $25 an email so we could talk back and forth. And he gave me a few other names. And he said, here's some other people that can reach out. Here's, do this. So in the whole process, Danny and I tried to communicate as well as we could, but we started getting down to the end of March. Well, first, go back to mid-March. Diana and I came up here to clear out our sheds, because I needed to sign a piece of paper in person. Everything else was DocuSign, but Pioneer Title did need me and the buyer to sign something in person together to initiate the closing process that was going to be effective on April 1st. No joke, April 1st. So March 12th or something, Diana and I came up here from courtside with the truck. No, a U-Haul. Cleared out both sheds and removed the hot tub and our garbage and said goodbye. But if you remember, we said, we're going to tell you this eventually. Now's not the right time because there's too much heat going on and I'm trying to close the property and I don't need any more drama and stuff like that. But we may be back. Diane and I may be. Remember I said that? Look, I'm not saying goodbye to Sholo, guys. There's quite possibly a good chance that I will be back to Sholo for another chapter. Danny's out of jail the entire month of March and able to move his stuff. He's very slow to do that as I watch the cameras, and I keep asking it. Danny, send me some pictures. Diana will tell you 5 times a day, Danny, take a picture. I want to see the update. Danny, show me what's going on. What's going on, Danny? We get down to like March 25th, and I'm talking with the buyer, and I'm like, there's no way this is going to work. He's like, all right, well, I'm going to be up there on March 31st, no matter what, because he's not really from here. He lives in a different city. I'll be up there, and if it's not clear, I'm gonna have to withdraw my offer. Like I can't buy it when Danny's stuff's still there, and obviously I understand. But hopefully Danny won't screw me like this. He did promise a third time, right? Well, on April 1st, the buyer was here, and Danny was still on the property. Danny was literally clearing out the last few things, and I'm in contact with both the buyer and not Danny anymore. Now Danny's female friend is using Danny's phone to communicate and talk to me because Danny won't even talk to me anymore. I've asked him probably 200 times to send me a picture of the progress, and I never got one picture. So I finally hear back around 10:30 from the buyer on April 1st, and he said, Danny's gone, it's clear. Oh, nobody even talked to me? Cool, good. We good? Yep, I'm gonna leave here, go straight to Pioneer Title and finalize the closing, and then funds will be released here in a couple weeks. Awesome, thank you, man. It's like this huge burden has just been lifted off my shoulder. I'm out. I escaped. There's no drama on any of the hater channels. Nothing's tied back to me. We're gonna be okay. Oh my gosh. Not thinking about the fact that my viewers simply don't understand because, Eric, you left out this big, huge, important chunk of why. Why, Eric? Because at the time I just didn't want to talk about it, and I didn't think I needed to talk about it. And I certainly didn't think that Danny needed any extra, look what Danny did. I mean, we all make mistakes, right? Danny made a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes. I wouldn't say unforgivable. Like I said, I will shake his hand and say, it's all good, man. We're past it now. It was tough for a minute there, though, but we're past it now. Am I a POS for bringing this up? I mean, how else would I be able to fill in the gaps for you guys to understand how I'm able to smile and rebuild at Tater Acres 5 times bigger than this place from scratch? Now, does it make sense? It wasn't really my fault. Although I am going to take fault, I let someone that I don't know stay on my property. And it was impossible to get him out of here. Okay? Also, my name attached to this property and the parcel number lookup. It's free. Anybody could have found it. I'm surprised they didn't find it earlier. Or maybe they did and they just didn't post it. But they certainly haven't posted any of the Danny stuff. And I'm not using an alias. Danny goes by Danny. But Danny is not his arrest name, and I will just let you know that. Not even a year has passed since I walked away from Taterland. It has only been 9 months. 10 months? 9 months. 9 months. And here I am already clearing my next 5 acres and looking forward to adding solar panel arrays and making an S driveway instead of this straight driveway where I'm just always waving at people driving. I hated that. Guys, I hated that. I could have fixed it. I could have brought it in and made some changes, but yeah, anyway, forgive, love, and forget. I'm not going to harbor hate. I'm not going to have any resentment. And I am never going to bring this up again on the channel again. So if you guys see a comment in there that's likely some of like what's been said before, Eric, why are you just starting over? Why did you just leave Taterland? Why would you leave Taterland and start? If you guys see those comments, it would do a lot for me if you would reply and say, he covered this in a recent video, the first video of the year in 2026. You should watch it. It'll really get you caught up and it'll get you on the same page as Eric. Because what I want is I want you guys to understand where I'm coming from, what kind of emotions I've been through. This is a personal vlog. It might not always be a personal vlog, but right now here in early 2026, this is still a personal vlog where I share my personal life with you all, which includes my feelings and some of the craziness that's happened. Now you are 100% caught up in the craziness of Taterland, and we can close this chapter officially together and look forward to building Tater Acres, okay? He really covered up Taterland really well. I can't even tell that it was ever there. The movie screen's still here. This was my thinking tree, and it looks like he's getting ready to add a shaded area here. You can just put a cloth over this thing and then have a nice summer shaded area. Water tank's still good. I really had dreams of utilizing every bit of this just 1.1 acre. Put an RV friend here, park an RV friend right here, another spot right here for somebody. There was actually an S10 pickup truck on the ground right here when I came back. This is where Amanda stayed when she came down from Canada into this back spot right there. I like to say time heals certain things. The new owner loves the property. The property is back to its original state, quiet, peaceful, no drama, no issues, nobody coming onto the property looking for drugs or to steal something from Danny because they owe him something. I mean, how did I get involved in that crap, guys? Guess what? Nobody anymore. My other property, check it out. See, this is how I learned from my mistakes. I opened an LLC. So good luck trying to find Eric Jacobs or Nomadic Fanatic's other 5 acres. I don't think you'll ever figure out which LLC is mine. And I'm not inviting friends to my new property anymore. Ever. I can't do it. maybe I'll get another acre somewhere nearby here, and it'll be more of a communal spot where everybody knows. And we could like have it set up for like makeshift parties and campfires, you know, like one little shed and a battery pack. We can have a campfire, watch a movie or a sports game at night that's away from my 5 acres. Yeah. This is cool. The new owner of the property has put in a garden bed here right next to the drain fields of the septic system. That's a great place, a great place to put a garden. It's winter right now, so nothing really grows here in the winter. You just kind of pack it up. And then he can put tarps and stuff over this, sunscreens to keep the harsh summer sun away from the crops. But I love that. All right. Well, bye, Babe Laboo Box. Taterland. That's a wrap. Guys, that is a wrap. I am going to add this video to my Tater Acres Homestead playlist on the channel, but I will also now make this the new final video of Taterland build playlist. Instead of the one where Diana and I were doing the U-Haul stuff, instead of that, this will be the closing video in that playlist also. So, anyway, I feel like a big burden has been lifted off my chest, getting you guys caught up with the actual facts. As far as Danny, I wish him well. There's a chance I may see him again. You know, if I'm in a homestead in the White Mountains and if he gets released and does his time and gets back out, don't put it past me to go on a ride with Danny. I ain't got no lingering hard feelings towards him on certain things. Now, if he asks me, hey, can I come see your new property? Or hey, can I come stay at your new property or drink a beer at your new property? No, Danny, no. Because I don't know what else you got in your pockets or your saddlebags or your bag. Anyway, are we good now, guys? Can we move on? Start working on Tater Acres a little more? All right. Guys, be well. Thanks for watching. We will see you in a few days. Bye-bye.